Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction bingo for One Piece chapter 1165. Excited to read as always. So this one I was expecting after the end of last chapter. Okay, I think just about all we have left for God Valley is the fight between the main three participants here, Garp, Roger, and rocks. So that's what I was thinking. And then this is titled Echo, so we might still get that, of course, but I was like, okay, Echo is kind of a weird title. Like, I don't know what we might skip. Hopefully we're not skipping much, because if we do, I don't know when we would go back to it. So I feel like we finish out this fight, we finish out whatever the aftermath is, we see how that aftermath affects various characters, but specifically we get back into Loki's story. There is how I feel like it'll go, but maybe there are just even more surprises waiting to hit. I guess, is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, the God Knights. I've been trying, I thought they were very cool, hyping them up a little bit, but they have not done it. They were really not a part of this conflict very much at all. They were there for the killing of the random civilians and slaves, but then when the actual fighting took off, they have been MIA. They have vanished ever since, having what's his face, Shepard Summers just launched by Rayleigh. Since then, since what happened with Garling's group happened, we just have not seen them. Now, is there a chance that last second Garling could do some real evil stuff, like he just jumps in last second and kills rocks to suck up to Emu? Look, great one, I killed Jibek for you, and all of that. I killed Davy for you. Like, after the fighting is reached the point where everybody's tired, everybody's worn out, he just jumps in and takes credit at the end. Could something like that happen? It would be in character for Garling so far, just to jump in, take the credit, kill Steel, and try to use that to propel himself. That's maybe the only thing left I could see the God Knights doing right now at this point. We've got basically everybody else having left or in the process of leaving the island. So, real quick before I start reading, the only thing left to say is these videos go up whenever I read the scans for patrons and members. If you want to hit join down below to become a member, go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description. You can, watch these early whenever I watch the scan, or whenever I read the scans and post them. But it'll be up for everybody officially when the official translation comes out. So I wanted to let you know about that. And also, if you want to play along, make your own bingo card, the bingo card generator will be down in the comments and description as always. So either way, I did make some changes this time around. I removed Thousand Sunny because I feel like that's just such a specific space. Like, we pretty much never see the Sunny unless we're traveling from island to island or in very specific cases. So I went ahead and removed that one, and I also removed Wano Piece, I think, because I don't think we're going to be jumping to Wano enough to leave that as its own place anymore since we ended the cover story. And I added apparent death. Here's the thing with One Piece and having a spot on the bingo board revolving around death whatsoever, is that a lot of times you think a character has died and they just straight up haven't. So if it seems like a character has died, if a character has apparently died, even if it was a fake out and it gets walked back in the future, if they have apparently died, if you have reasonable suspicion, if we as readers have reasonable suspicion that they have died, then that counts. And I put that up there because some of these Rocks pirates probably have to die at some point. I don't know if we'll get into that in this flashback or not, but we know that a bunch of them ended up dead. They ended up zombies. So there's that, and also Rocks himself is almost certainly going to die. There is a chance that somehow Rock survives. Maybe he's just very, very critically injured, and in the present time there is an old man Rocks around. Maybe Mosa is old man Rocks, but he's just so injured he can't really fight or anything anymore. I doubt that's the case. He's probably going to die, but, it's not out of the realm of possibility completely. So, either way, what I got on my bingo card was Imo-sama, Zoan Transformation, any Straw Hat member, new name Devil Fruit, named attack, silhouetted character, Vivi Wappler Morgan's flashback, Joy Boy or Nika mentioned, Marine, Gorosei, Kid or Heart Pirates, Free Space, which we can click, Bogart, that's a rough one. Once we get off of God Valley, I'm going to have to remove some of these. Devil Fruit Awakening, Goon Valley, new name character, Revolutionary, Carrot and or Zunisha, God's Knights, Child, Cross Guild, Straw Hat Fleet Representative, Blood, Sweat, or Tears, or King Harold or Ida. So, I feel like once we're out of this flashback, my options for what I'll put in here, I like to have around 30 options, so not everybody gets the same things. The options will have to be overhauled quite a bit once we're out of this flashback. But either way, getting into finally reading the chapter, we have chapter 1165, Echo. We have a Law and Beppo cover story with Zeus here and what was his name? Moji? Was it Moji? It was something like that. The sheep guy. I don't remember what his name was now. Or Yomo. It might have been Yomo. That might have been what his name was. Then, cover request by Machi and Takeshi. Beppo peacefully sleeping using Zeus as a pillow. And Ura just threw in Yomo or Tomo or whatever his name was. I'm certain it had a Mo in it. And Law. Okay, we're getting back to where we left off. Rox versus Roger and Garp. I just thought of something. Please, you hear that too, right? So if this is a voice of all things kind of thing, then it's interesting that both Garp and Roger can hear it. And it makes you wonder, if it's a voice of all things type thing, is Rox or Jibeku, like consciously using the voice of all things to telepathically speak? Or can they just hear the cry of his anguished soul? Yeah, please kill me. Like, is it something he's consciously doing, or is Rox not consciously aware of it? This is just deep down, the soul deep inside of him is crying out, and the two of them can hear it. His words, the way he's acting, and that look on his face. The swords clash between Roger and Jibeku. None of it adds up. We have Garp imbue Haki into his fist and punch Jibeku. He tanks it, digging his foot into the ground, and ends up battering Garp and Roger away. My voice keeps cracking. Both of them get sent into the rocks. And we have the Haki lightning coming out from there. The sky, it's splitting. We've got to get out of here or we're gonna die. Let's steal a ship and get off this island. We have Kyo. Huh? But what about Rox's ship? Dumbass. No one's going back. The Rox pirates are history. We've got Shiki. Hurry to the coast. Vice Admiral Garp, can you repeat that? I said get every survivor and marine you can aboard that ship and cast off immediately. Roger, what's going on over there? Get underway. The instant Rayleigh's group is aboard. Wait for me at sea. And again, people have made like predictions and stuff about the egg. At this point, they already have the egg. I'm pretty sure it's been there. I think at this point, it might not be a real egg. It's just part of the ship, I think, maybe. But we'll see. Maybe not. Okay, just taking this in. I'll make it back, for sure. Rox and Roger. I came to this island to catch the pair of you, but look how things panned out. Garp throws his coat aside, so does Roger. Well, all I wanted was to save Shaki, grab some treasure, and bail. Want to call a temporary truce? Can't say I'm thrilled with that idea, but we can't just leave him be. Then, Garp dodges an attack and leaps up above him. Hey, Rox. Roger's running down from below and attacks from behind and sends Rox forward into the cliff face. This form, Garp grabs onto his foot. This curse. Can't we undo it somehow? And Garp throws him. Wake up, Roger comes down with an attack from above. Hurry, Roger won't stop fighting till he's sure we've escaped, says Rayleigh. It's strange, this Haki. Nice ship, you don't mind if I tag along, right? We have Gloriosa, Gloriosa. And now we cut to Linlin and Kaido. You listening, Kaido? Consider this a lifelong debt. You'll pay me back one day, mark my words. Don't be stupid. You lost fair and square, Linlin. Now watch. I'm going to start a crew where brutality's the only law. Kaido, to me, this flashback has elevated him so much to where before I thought he was, like, you know, probably one of One Piece's weakest, lamest villains. But then this flashback has just elevated him character-wise so much for me. He's been so fun here. You've grown bold, haven't you? But you'll never be able to beat me. Linlin, what are you doing? We've got to go, we have Struzen. Load up the treasure. One day, I'll come to collect what you owe. I'll crush you when that time comes. We cut back to the fight. Rox is still sending both of them flying. You broke the mountain, didn't you, Newgate? Who are you? Looks like your crew's also breaking up. The name's Graham, captain of the Polo Pirates, Polo Graham. So we're going to have Polo Marco as his son, obviously. Okay, so random Marco Nepo Piece. So it's true that the mountain fell when Rox threw Newgate through it, essentially. And he tanked it and he's back up. That's so funny. I'm a big fan. You need a ship, right? Let's join forces. Buzz off. Don't get in my way. I love the random last minute Marco Nepo Piece. Hey, where's Newgate? Don't ask me. And we've got... I can't tell if that's supposed to be like Gilbastar or anybody we know there with the bag of treasure, but we have Stussy and Ganzui. Calm down, Dragon. What do you think you're doing? We have one of the Navy ships. Me? What about you? Do you condone this? Dragon's just pulling guns on everybody. Dragon! Bring those survivors aboard. We're saving them. And if anyone's got a problem with that, I'll execute them. This won't end well for you, Dragon. Bring it on. Where are you going? Rayleigh, get on. Don't follow us. Sail the boat out to sea and wait. So we have the wings heading off. That island. It never existed. Is that clear? We see West Blue and we have Saturn. Okay, so before I continue, this whole time I've been so sucked in, this has been so good, that I haven't even messed with the bingo board yet. But with the bingo board, because of his eyes and the way he's talking, for Saturn, we might be able to say Imusama. I'll give it a little bit longer though. Same with Zoan Transformation, I might give it a second longer. We haven't seen a Straw Hat member yet. Or a new name, Devil Fruit. Actually, they've been fighting this whole time, but none of them have thrown out named attacks. They've just been scrapping. We've seen Marines, though. We're in a flashback. No mention of Joy Boy or Nika. I don't believe we've had a silhouetted character. I could go back, though, like maybe before he was properly introduced. Polo Graham? Was that his name? He might have been silhouetted at first. So Kid or Hard Pirates, that's what I thought of. That's what I remembered, like, page 1 when I paused for a moment. It was because I was like, hold on a second. We saw, like, if you have Kid or Hard Pirates, we saw Law here in the cover, the frontispiece. We've got Gorosei. Devil Fruit Awakening, again, maybe in a page I'll be able to click it, depending on what Saturn looks like. So depending on what Saturn looks like, we could have Imusama, Zoan Transformation, and Devil Fruit Awakening coming in. I don't think we've seen Bogart. I would have to look back to the Garp's Fleet panel from before. We're on Goon Valley, though. Wild new named character. Wild. Revolutionary, we do have the Revolutionary Dragon here. No, Karadan, Druzine, Nisha, the God's Knights are still MIA. We've got Blood Sweater Tears for sure. And then none of this other stuff yet. Child. We have seen a child. There were children being rescued there by Dragon. So again, I could end up with a, bingo in multiple different places at this stage. So That island never existed. Is that clear? We see Saturn. And I don't know if because of the eyes we should just say Imu-sama or not, because those are the Imu-sama eyes, but he's in like Saturn form now. The records kept by G11 and CP6 concerning the top secret Level S special mission on God Valley are sparse. Are we going to really cut away now? Are we not going to see how it ended until a little later on? Maybe if we get into a Blackbeard flashback, maybe we'll see. But are we really going to get cucked right here at the end? We see the other half of the mountain starts falling. The names of the participants of the human hunt were purged. Little is recorded regarding the site of the God Valley incident. Did you know the government had ties to that black monster? Seems like an affront to justice. Information regarding the island's whereabouts, size, and population were also purged. The number of casualties remains unknown to this day. So, since we didn't see Imu calling down the 16 holy bullets or whatever, the ancient weapon, and at this time, Vegapunk wouldn't have recreated the Mother Flame or whatever, so they might not have been able to fire the ancient weapon at this point. So the island itself, there were people, the theory and all, that it's Thriller Bark. The island itself might have never been destroyed. The island might be there. They just purged it from history. I'm with you there. If you want to leave the Navy, you should join us. Hell no. If I quit, who'd protect the Marines? It's all about the mass, Garp. The mass? What are you talking about? Armament Haki can normally counter Devil Fruit abilities, and I'm using Conqueror's Haki coding to boot, so there's no way my attacks aren't doing anything. It's 'cause he's also using Conqueror's Haki to guard himself. It's not a surprise we'd cancel each other out. Exactly. If we don't overcome that, the damage won't go through. We'll lose sooner or later if we keep trading blows like this. We simply can't match a monster in a battle of attrition. So, next time we use Conqueror's Haki, we should channel all of our mass into it. Yeah, don't worry about how crippling the aftermath will be. If we do that, we probably won't survive this. Either way, it'll take all three of us out of commission. And if we don't land this, it's all over. And is that Garp looking to the side? Hey, Rox, I don't know if there's any words that'll comfort you at this point. I don't even know what's happened to you. But I do know one thing. I can feel your frustration. And we see his crying, frustrated face. This is no time for tears, you dolt. Kagutsuchi's. And Kagutsuchi is the Shinto god of fire. Infinitum. Okay, so lately I have been reading the Japanese version, whenever it's posted. So, I've been seeing some of the attack kanji and everything. This is one of those things where I would really like to know what the kanji for some of this stuff is. Like some of Roger's attacks so far, he has the Kamusari, which is Divine Departure, but he says Kamusari, and it's like an old Shinto term for the death of a god. So his attack is death of a god, but they translate it as Divine Departure. And I don't remember if it's him or Shanks, I think it's Roger, that uses Ara Mitama, and he's used one of the other Mitamas, and those are the four parts of a god's soul in Shinto. So that is where a lot of his attacks are coming from. And again, reading the past few chapters in Japanese, you have Garp's, so many things in One Piece, you kind of miss out with the translation, just because a lot of times Oda does creative things like using certain characters to say something, but then having the actual reading be different. He's Shepherd Cross Peter, but the cross is read as Jew because it's the kanji for 10. And then Drake is written out as X Drake, but the X has the pronunciation Diez above it. And Galaxy Impact for Garp is it's fist bone impact or something or fist bone collision or something like that. But he says Galaxy Impacto as he's doing it. So things like that, or seeing Whitebeard's attack. It was like sky rending something was the kanji, but his actual, like, what he said was Hakwa. So he's like Hakwa and he does that attack, and meanwhile it's like sky rending something or another. So this is one of those where I would like to read it in Japanese to see. So in the future, actually, if you want to, I've thought about doing, I do the reactions here as usual, and then someday once the Japanese is posted, I usually don't see it on the site I usually read from until after the official's out. Maybe I'll go and do a Japanese reading stream or something. If you want me to do that, like do Japanese reading streams for the chapters, like after the actual reactions, just let me know. But I was interrupting right before the big attack. Kagutsuchi's Infinitum Uvo Ace Explosion. So we have Kagutsuchi's Ace and Infinitum Explosion. The world government tried their best to bury this incident in the shadows. However, we have the attack going in. The disbanding of the chaotic crew, led by Rox D. Jibeku, would leave an undeniable echo. The Rox pirates destabilized an entire era, and the tremors of their legacy would continue to shake the world. A legendary incident uncovered. And he's getting blown apart here. Sort of, I guess, like we saw Saturn getting blown apart by Luffy and Bonnie's final attack last arc. And we have a break next week before we find out what happens. So we'll have to wait a little bit and see how this goes. I don't know if we're gonna like cut away here, if we're going to see the aftermath of what like the final departure of Rox is. I don't know if we'll get to see that next time or not, or if we're just going to go straight into the aftermath. But you got to think, we got to spend a little bit of time on the aftermath. And it was so funny. Even some of the things we had here, everybody leaving, getting Marco right at the end, having some Nepo pieces, so funny. But I'm not sure what else to say. I think it was really good. We focused a lot on the fight, and the fight was really well done. I like some of this side stuff. So when it comes to the bingo board, though, it's a little questionable, actually. Like, for what we count. Because we did get Gorosei for sure, but I don't think we could say Zoan Transformation or Devil Fruit Awakening, because it doesn't look like we can't tell. We only have a panel of his face. We can't tell if Saturn is still transformed or not. And it seems like Saturn is being possessed by Imo-sama. I think we can take the bingo. Because if you were to ask me, even if it wasn't about the bingo, if you were to ask me in that panel, do I think that is Saturn or that's Imu speaking? I think that's Imu speaking because of the eyes and the bubble and everything. So I would say, even if I wasn't playing bingo, I would say I think that's Imu. And we did get named attacks there at the end for anybody that would want named attacks. Silhouetted character, maybe? I don't remember. And Bogart also. Maybe. I guess I'll, right here, since we're doing the outro or whatever, I'll just glance back through the chapter, see if we see any of that. So, just looking through. Again, Rayleigh and Scopper are running to them, so I think after this final attack, we'll probably have, that's how Garp and Roger get away, that's how Garp and Roger, aren't taken by the world government after the battle or whatever, since they're probably going to be out of commission when the battle's over. Oh, also, I just noticed. Hold on. That panel with Stussy and Gonzui. And this guy with the glasses. There's a Perona ghost. So somebody here had Perona's power. This random guy with the bucket hat might have had Perona's power. There's a Perona ghost here. Do we know who the bucket hat guy is? He almost reminds me of, you remember the, his face with the glasses and the hat almost reminds me of the guy in the bar in Loketown, like the bar owner in Loketown. He almost looks like that guy. I don't remember what's his face, Gilbastar was wearing, if it's Gilbastar. I don't remember if that's what he looked like when we saw him before. Yeah, somebody has a Perona ghost, though. And you would think it's not Stussy because Stussy's still alive, and we don't know if the real Stussy had the bat fruit like the fake Stussy does. So either way, she wouldn't have Perona's fruit because she's still alive. Ganzui had the explosion fruit. So it isn't Ganzui. Interesting, though. And it seems, okay, so we can count silhouetted character for Polo Graham. He kind of jumps, and he jumps in a floaty way to go with Whitebeard. Could he have Barona's fruit? Could Marco's dad have Barona's fruit? Nepo Piece going crazy. But the ghost is just walking casually with Ganzui and the others, so maybe not? You know, and not that clear. We get some more Linlin and Kaido stuff. I don't really think after what we've already seen from Linlin and Kaido, that scene was really necessary. We've kind of already seen what was happening there with them. We've kind of established that story-wise. So I don't necessarily know that we needed that. So we don't see, when we have Garp's ship, we don't specifically see Bogard, of course. Is he going to be the one to come in to rescue Garp at the end? Or is it just going to be Rayleigh and Scopper grabbing both of them? We have Kyo leaving. We still don't know if Kyo is going to end up related. We know that Kyo's devil fruit is almost certainly Uruge's, but we don't know his potential relation to Drake. I mean, he has the X's over his glasses. He has the X-shaped scar on his chin, the same as Drake has. So we don't know what relation could be there yet. We got the sky-splitting moment, the other part of the mountain coming down. That's all cool. Rox Jibek is a really, really compelling character to me. I feel like if sometime soon I want to do another, like... I would have to do it as a stream because it would be hours long. Do another... like tier list for One Piece, and if so, I think Rox would genuinely be really high. I think if you haven't been able to tell from my reactions to this flashback and anything, I love him. I would unironically think Rox might be like top 10 for me, like maybe even edging toward top 5. I think he is one of the best flashback characters. He is so cool. I really, really, really love Rox. So with that aside, let me just take one last look at the bingo board because we can throw in silhouetted character, wherever that was. It doesn't help me, it might help one of you. But I think that's about it for what I can say. Maybe I missed something, but I think it's about it. Either way, though, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And let me know in the future. I could try to do some streams reading the Japanese chapters in the future. Just let me know. Either way, though, thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of my reaction and everything. Subscribe for more. What you thought of the chapter and everything too. Subscribe for more, please. More One Piece, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel by becoming by sharing around or dropping a super thanks, that's appreciated. But if you'd like to help, support the channel, help me to continue to make videos by becoming a member or patron, you can have your name at the end of videos and have One Piece bingo a bit early. Like I said, it'll be up for patrons and members whenever I get done reading the scans. But I haven't updated this week. I'm so sorry. I'm behind on that. But thank you to people who are already members and patrons. Just hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Holly and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls JADD Van and Maru, Cheriton Student David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements Pate Ariel and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.